Shalom Israel. Today I'm going to be doing another video regarding the curses in Deuteronomy, and basically this video is going to be like my last one, where I'm going to be showing you images along with scripture. And actually I forgot to mention, this video is going to be on the Native Americans and the curses. So I'm going to be showing you images along with scripture, proving to you that yes, the Native Americans absolutely do suffer from the curses of Deuteronomy, and yes, they are Israelites. And actually, before I go on, I want to say that I'm recording this from my iPad, so you're gonna have to kind of bear with me. And I'm also gonna be showing you images from my computer, with my iPad. So I apologize if the images are hard to see for whatever reason. It should be fine though, because I checked before I started recording. But anyway, basically I'm going to show you that the Native Americans do suffer from the curses of Deuteronomy 28, and the people who say otherwise, or the people who say that no, they don't, they aren't suffering, they haven't been victimized, or some stupid claim like that. I'm just going to prove your ignorance with this video, as I did with my last one. So again, just let the images speak for themselves. Okay, so what I wanted to do first was very quickly reference the fact that yes, Native Americans were being lynched. However, I was unable to acquire any pictures depicting this. However, well, first of all, you're an idiot if you think Native Americans were being lynched. But just to prove my point and to get this out of the way, I'm going to very quickly read this passage here, and it's just going to very quickly summarize what was happening. So it says, Native American lynching. The lynching of Native Americans is an aspect of American history directly related to the history of white colonization. The violent history coincides with a white supremacist ideology, a doctrine based on a belief in the inherent superiority of the white race over all other races. It was the colonists faced in this doctrine that motivated and was then used to justify the lynching of Native Americans, the violent taking of their lands, and the repression of their cultural practices. Beginning in the 1600s, the colonists began a brutal massacre of different Native American tribes. This massacre resulted in the death of over 9 million Native Americans by 1700. According to Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States, 1492 present, the methods used to kill Native Americans during the genocidal period included lynching and the introduction of diseases by the colonists, forced migration, among other tactics. The hideous treatment of Native Americans continued into the 1700s, when many were captured and made to work on plantations with African Americans. Judah and Ephraim will be oppressed together. African American slaves. Many rebelled and ran away from plantation life. Within the larger public sphere, fear of insurrection caused whites to separate their slaves from whatever. Anyway, yes, Native Americans were being lynched. You're an idiot if you think otherwise. And now that's out of the way, I'm going to get into the scripture. Okay, so first I'm going to begin with Deuteronomy 28, verse 62. And, hold on real quick. Okay. So, yes, I'm going to begin with Deuteronomy 60. Okay. Yeah. Verse 62. And it reads, And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of Ahiah thy God. And it shall come to pass, that as Ahiah rejoiced over you to do you good, and to multiply you, so Ahiah will rejoice over you to destroy you, and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Okay, Um, so again, I'm just gonna very quickly read this a couple of passages here from this website. And what this is, it's you guys should, really look this up. It's an event known as the massacre at Wounded Knee, or the Wounded Knee massacre. And well, basically this summarizes here what happens. And while I was doing the research, actually, really, if you just type in Wounded Knee massacre, you'll literally get back thousands of results. But this particular site here caught my attention, and I'll show you why. But I'm just gonna start reading from the top here. It says, on the morning of December 29, 1890, the Sioux chief Bigfoot and some 350 of his followers camped on the banks of Wounded Knee Creek. Surrounding their camp was a force of U.S. troops charged with responsibility of arresting Bigfoot and disarming his warriors. The scene was tense. Trouble had been brewing for months. The once proud Sioux found their free-roaming life destroyed, the buffalo gone, themselves confined to reservations dependent on Indian agents for their existence. In a desperate attempt to return to the days of their glory, many sought salvation in a new mysticism preached by I apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Paiute shaman called Wovoka. Emissaries from the Sioux in South Dakota traveled to Nevada to hear his word, and this is why I picked this one in particular. Wovoka called himself the Messiah, which is bullshit, but it says, okay, Wovoka called himself the Messiah and prophesied that the dead would soon join the living in a world in which the Indians could live in the old way, surrounded by plentiful game, and a tidal wave of new soil would cover the earth and bury the whites and restore the prairie. So I think you guys get the the point with that. But I'm gonna go down here, and it's gonna quickly summarize what happened at Wounded Knee. So actually, I'm gonna read from right here. Okay. So it says, oh yeah, and by the way, when you do this research, you'll note that it was this one shot that started it all. But it says that suddenly the sound of a shot pierced the early morning gloom. Within seconds, the charged atmosphere erupted as Indian braves scurried to retrieve their discarded rifles, and troopers fired volley after volley into the Sioux camp. From the heights above, the Army's Hotchkiss guns raked the Indian teepees with grape shots. Clouds of gun smoke filled the air as men, women, and children scrambled for their lives. Many ran for a ravine next to the camp, only to be cut down in withering crossfire. When the smoke cleared and the shooting stopped, approximately 300 Sioux were dead, Bigfoot among them. 25 soldiers lost their lives. 300 Sioux were dead, Bigfoot among them. Only 25 soldiers lost their lives. As the remaining troopers began the grim task of removing the dead, a blizzard swept in from the north. A few days later, they returned to complete the job. Scattered fighting continued, but the massacre at Wounded Knee effectively squelched the ghost dance movement and ended the Indian Wars. And now I'm going to show you what that looked like. Okay. So this was them before Esau got here. Alright. All of these were Native American tribes. Alright. The whole US. And then this is then they got here. Okay, these are pictures from the Wounded Knee Massacre, and as you can see, man, as the scriptures say, they were as the stars of heaven, and I mean, basically, they're like, you know, if anyone even, I mean, when was the last time you walked out and you saw a full Native American family, a Native American mother, father, with you know, 3 children or something? I mean, they've just been pushed to the outskirts of the city, and yeah, man, it's just ridiculous what happened to them. But here they go. Here's Esau, proudly standing over their, you know, their slaughter, and here you have them again. All right. And as you can see, the bodies were literally just, I mean, just littered the entire area. And by the way, all of these bodies here were frozen. They were left here, I think, 3 days. And here you can see basically the extent of it. They basically just dug a giant grave and just started pouring their bodies into it. Okay. Here's a close-up of that man you just saw. This guy here, just to prove that they're natives. Actually, it's a little blurry. No, you can still make it out. You can tell this guy's a native. Either way, it's not like I'm making it up anyway. Just look up Wounded Knee. Here we have another fallen soldier, man. Fucking Esau. Alright. Again, they shall neither regard the old nor the young. This man was shot, well, obviously, and he was just left there to freeze. And here they go, just wheeling their bodies out. And okay, yeah, that was it on that. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention. Yeah, I'm recording this. Well, actually, I mentioned I'm recording this from my iPad, so I don't have that much, you know, time. I did erase some, you know, some stuff to make more space, but whatever. I have enough. I have a couple pictures. Anyway, let's keep it going. Okay, so next I'm gonna read from Deuteronomy 31, and it reads, "Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them." Okay. So again, I'm just gonna really quickly read this passage from the internet, which basically summarizes also what was happening to them with their you know, resources. And it says, 1874 United States. Excuse me. The U.S. government ratchets up its policy of ethnic cleansing when Secretary of the Interior Columbus Delano testifies to Congress. "The buffalo are disappearing rapidly, but not faster than I desired. I regard the destruction of such game as Indians subsist upon as facilitating the policy of the government of destroying their hunting habits, coercing them onto reservations, and compelling them to adopt the habits of civilization." Fucking asshole. In the previous 2 years, almost 8 million buffalo had been slaughtered in the campaign to exterminate by starvation. Again, I apologize if I am mispronouncing this. The Cheyenne, Sioux, Dakota, and Comanche nations. The extermination of the buffalo was carried out in order to steal the lands which had been guaranteed in perpetuity to the Plains Indians by legally binding treaties. In total, as many as 60 million buffalo are slaughtered, reducing the total buffalo population to just over 1,000 by 1889, and as intended, completely destroying the ability of the Plains Indians to maintain their way of life. And again, this is how that would look. Now, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Again, this is how it was, you know, when things were still good. You can see the cattle basically as far as I can see, or buffalo. I'm not sure which this is. Here we have another picture. Again, just they were abundant in resources. They didn't need anything. And then they came. Okay. They basically just, well, not basically, they stole everything. And I mean, seriously, just, okay, this wasn't happening before they came. Okay, you didn't just find slaughtered buffalo laying on the floor, okay, before they came. And this is another example of what was happening to them. All of this man is sitting on buffalo hide. From the bottom all the way to the top, all this is buffalo hide, and this was an essential resource that the Native Americans will need it. And here they go, just basically taking it all and using it for rugs or whatever. I don't fucking know, man. Who cares? And again, here's this is a pile of animal bones, cattle and buffalo, I assume. And well, as you can see, this is, well, obviously this is how many they were killing, but this is still not anywhere near to the total amount. So okay, I'm gonna keep it going. Next I'm gonna read verse 32 in Deuteronomy 28, and it reads, "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand." Okay. So, again, I'm just going to read this real quick. And it says, "Native American youngsters were removed from their traditional environment, obliterating their cultural heritage and replacing that background with the values of white America. Only English was allowed. Hair was cut in American styles, and both girls and boys had to wear traditional American clothing." And then I skip down here. "Parents expressed widespread opposition and resisted sending children to the schools. Agents withheld rations from uncooperative families, and in cases where there was continued resistance, police were sent to take the children by force." Again, "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand." Tell me that isn't what that is saying. And yeah, this is the eventual outcome. But I'll show you these pictures anyway. Okay. So I just finished reading how this man got this baby. Obviously, he or she, I think it's a girl, she or he is not this guy's baby. Okay? They were just going in either just well, actually they were all basically kidnapped. So yeah, they were basically just kidnapping them, but this is what they were doing with them, man. And then some of you so-called Negroes always use that the Indians also had us enslaved bullshit. Man, how the fuck are they not gonna, man, after this type of brainwashing they underwent? Look at this shit. Indian training school. Every single one of these were natives, or are natives. Okay? By the way, I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera a bit. Again, keep in mind that every single person here is a Native American, and most of them here were just taken by force or brought here by force. Well, here we have them being forced to worship wood and stone. Okay. And yeah, man, this is what it does to you. This is before Esau, after. Alright. Man, look at this shit. This is what they had to put up with. This is what they were being forced to do, and then some of you Negroes still use that, oh, they had us enslaved bullshit, man. Anyway, that's enough of my rant. Okay, next I'm gonna read from, actually I'll read from 29. It says, "And thou shalt grope at noondays as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee." Alright. Now, first, okay, this is obviously a modern picture, but this house, I did the research, was built in the 1700s. Okay, and I'm going to show you, all these houses, are all these, except for this one, but the rest of the pictures are from the same time, from the same era. They were all, taken on the same years, and I'm just going to show you how these people were living. Okay, this was Esau and their plantations. Okay, this is what Esau was living in. Okay, these were all houses in the 1700s, and this is what the Native Americans were living in at the same time. I mean, while Esau was living in this is what the natives were living in. Okay. I mean, just barely standing their houses, man. And this picture here, I mean, it may look like just a a normal native family standing next to sitting next to the teepee, but you could be sure that by this time, these people were already living in a highly impoverished condition, and this is how they're living now. Okay, these are modern day Native American reservations, and this is how they're living now. And I mean, yeah, most of the reservations are just trailers, and most of the trailers have more than one family in it. Oh, excuse me. Okay. And I mean, this guy's basically demonstrating how they have to how they acquire their water, and at least most of you, or if not all of you watching this video, have the how do I say this, oh man, what's the word, the luxury the luxury of having a sink in your restroom, but or a faucet in your sink, whatever. But I mean, damn, these people, I mean, that like as I heard before, there's poverty and then there's reservation poverty. Because I mean, no, I mean our ghettos, the ghettos in LA and in Brooklyn, all that shit, they are not like this. Okay, and I'm just gonna very quickly read this article again. Well, not the entire article. I'm just gonna summarize real quick. But it says here, Pine Ridge in South Dakota is the poorest of the Indian reservations in the U.S., with an unemployment rate of about 80% and nearly half of its residents living below the federal poverty line. And I'm just gonna skip this. It basically tells you the story of this Native woman. But down here, it basically gets to the to what I'm trying to tell you guys. So it says, Pine Ridge is today the eighth largest Native American reservation in the U.S. It is also the poorest. Many of the families living here have no electricity, telephone, running water, sewage system, or indeed houses of their own. Most of the trailers that make up majority of the dwellings hold more than one family, or some. Okay. Most of the dwellings hold more than one family. Of some 27,000 residents, about half are seeking new housing that none can afford. Social problems proliferate. Alcohol is not allowed on the reservations, but alcoholism and drug abuse ravages the community to such an extent that those who have avoided or overcome such addictions, such as Larry Bird Killer, 45, clean 18 years, proudly proclaimed so within 5 minutes of meeting a stranger. Adolescent suicide rates, meanwhile, are 4 times the national average, a result, say most, of absent or drunk parents and despair over their future. Which will also link up with verse 67, which verse 66, which says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. So I mean, yeah, man, the natives, they fit the curses 100%, like I said in my last video. Real quick, I'm gonna go over to let me see. I'm gonna go over to First Chronicles, and I'm going to read chapter 12, verse 8. Okay. Apologize for the wait. Okay. First Chronicles chapter 12, verse 8 reads, and of the Gadites there separated themselves unto David, and of the Gadites there separated themselves unto David into the holds to the wilderness, men of might and men of war, fit for the battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were as swift as the roes upon the mountains. Okay. So, you're not gonna tell me this man doesn't resemble a lion, man. With the headdress he's wearing. This is a native man, and you're not gonna tell me that does not resemble a lion. And here we have a close-up of him. Or this guy. Look at this guy. As you can see, there's these very furry or hairy headdresses they used to wear. Absolutely gave them the appearance of a lion, or somewhat of a lion. Here we have another one, wearing these same type of headdresses. That okay, now this guy, I don't think this picture is vintage, but this guy is native, and he was well, I'm assuming if it's not vintage, I'm assuming he's just modeling the headdress. Either way, you can see how this would somehow resemble a lion. And oh yeah, also this guy with I mean, his face kind of does. And also they used to also wear you know, a lot of face paint, and yeah, in many ways they would you know, resemble lions. But actually, what well, actually, right here for the same verse where it says you know, they can handle a shield and buckler, for you know, just in case some of you may not know, where is it? Right here. For the word buckler, you have the Strong's number 7420, and that means, well, the word there is ramak, and that means spear or lance. And we all know that the Native Americans are synonymous with spears, man. And don't act stupid. So yes, they were skilled in buckling. Here we have a whole tribe holding their spears, and here. So I mean, yeah, they did. They were synonymous with spears, man. It's not even up for debate. And yeah, man. I think that's it. That's later I'm gonna try to make a video about the or actually I'll just make the video about the how the indigenous people, the both Native Americans and well, actually we're all Native Americans, but you know, the Aztecs, and you know, all the basically all the Latin tribes and the Native Americans. I'm gonna make a video on how they were shipped off to the other nations, and you know, forced to serve as slaves there. And I was going to end it with a certain verse that stuck out to me while I was reading it, because it basically sums up what these guys are doing. You know, the ones that don't agree with this breakdown. And here it is. It is Proverbs 26. Proverbs 26 verse 11. And it reads, "As a dog runneth to his vomit, so a fool," or I'm sorry, "as a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly." And that's exactly what these guys are doing, man. Because it's ridiculous that they question the fact that you know, Native Americans were being oppressed. And again, if there's any curse that you feel they don't fall under, or you know, if there's anything you disagree with, just comment and I will prove your ignorance. Shalom. My bad, people. There was just one verse I forgot to mention, and which I'm going to go over very quickly. It was verse 37, which reads, in Deuteronomy 28, verse 37, and it reads, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Ahiah shall lead thee." Okay, so I just wanted to, you know, show that the natives were also being demonized in the exact same manner as you so-called Negroes and Hispanics. And well, as you can see, they were putting up the exact same shit. No Indians or dogs allowed. They were viewed the exact same way. Okay, now when you look at this picture, I want you to realize that this is Native American land, and as you can see by what that guy is holding, they are not welcome in their own land. And by the way, the word Indian itself is a damn proverb and byword to the natives. Alright, now this bar, I forget the year it was built, but I think, well, it says 1906 there. I'm not sure though. Anyway, this was a bar back in the day, and as you can read here, I don't know if you can read that, it's a little blurry, but if you can, it says no Indians allowed, apparently. And okay, no, it's not, well, yeah, this was typical. They were putting this outside of everywhere, just as much as they were to the so-called Hispanics and Negroes. And I don't know what the whole deal was with natives and beer, but for some reason nobody was selling them any, as you can see. And I mean, yeah, man, this was just normal stuff. Now, this poster and this one say the exact same thing, so I'll just leave it here. But if you want, you can pause it and read through this. But basically, this is what they were passing around to advertise, the natives' land. And well, yeah, man, it's just fucking ridiculous. Now this is from a book series called Dime Novels, and this particular book is entitled The Lost Trail. And apparently, as you can see by the cover, well, long story short, it's about natives kidnapping and raping white women. Okay, and this was one of the fear tactics they used, to get everybody against, the natives. Anyway, now, okay, this picture here, I'm just gonna really quickly prove just something that I had in mind that I think is pretty racist. But see, this picture here, what most of you so-called Negroes would consider this a racist depiction of a so-called Negro, as well as you so-called Hispanics. Most of you would find this offensive, and consider this a racist depiction of our people. So how do you think the natives feel when they see this shit? Okay, how is this different from this? See, and this is a mascot. Okay, I mean, this shit is everywhere, and I before I came into this truth, I would look at this and not even give it a second thought. But after coming into this truth and really just slowing down and noticing, everything, basically, the way the way Esau basically subliminally influences their racism. It's just it's just ridiculous, that people still allow this to be just paraded around everywhere, and people allow this to continue to be a mascot. I mean, how would the so-called Hispanics react to this? The Cleveland Hispanics. Or how would you so-called Negroes react to that? See? But the natives have to put up with this shit. And I mean, that just something that I thought was just pretty racist, something to think about. And but yeah, man, the so-called Native Americans, they fit the curses 100%. They are Israelites, along with you so-called Hispanics and you so-called Negroes. Well, yeah, okay, now yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Now you can go. Shalom.